Hey guys, Chris from Average Eskate Reviews here, and today in this video we're going to be taking a look at 10 things every new rider should keep in mind. So 10 tips for new riders. If you've just picked up a brand new skateboard like this GTR2 from Evolve, bamboo of course, what 10 things should you keep in mind? That's what we're going to be taking a look at in this video. Now of course, before we jump into it, make sure that you thumbs up and you subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the notifications that we post. But the tips in this video, you could say, are going to apply to people that have already got their boards that are still new to riding, kind of like learning the ropes a little bit. And of course, to anyone out there that is waiting for a board or just about to pull the trigger and pick up a brand new board. Let's jump into it. And of course, while we're running through the list of my top 10 tips for new riders, if there's anything that you feel that I've missed out on, please leave it in the comment section down below. Now, the first point is going to sound like quite a straightforward one and something that you might not expect to do. And that's going to be checking the board over. Now this is kind of referred to as QC or quality control. Depending on where you buy your board from, this should of course be done to some standard before it gets shipped out to you. But during shipping or while something's being packed and shipped out, there could be something that's missed or overlooked. So it's always a good job to just look over the board, check the bolts, even if you're not too familiar with the components on a board. Just make sure nothing's loose, nothing's wobbling, nothing's vibrating before you actually ride the board. That's not only going to help you from a safety perspective, but it's just something that I feel like you should always do when you get something new, just to make sure it's in the condition that you would expect it to be in before you use it. Now from there is going to be something that's probably not so obvious, and that's going to be the tires that you have and what information you need to keep in mind. If you are like me and also Ricky and you're very fond of all-terrain wheels or pneumatic tires, it's always a good idea to check the tire pressure when you get them. Now this is because if the board has been shipped from overseas, a lot of manufacturers will a lot of the times deflate the tires or almost completely deflate them before they ship them out to you. This isn't something that you can pick up on by just quickly feeling it or looking at it, and you might go on the board and wonder why your top speed's not right, why the range isn't right. So checking the tires, making sure they're inflated to the correct amount. The PSI that they should be pumped up to should be actually written on the wheel itself. So that's always worth a glance. Make sure that they're ready before you actually jump out with them. And on the reverse of that, if you're using street wheels, what you want to keep in mind is that although they look sick, they're very shiny, very slick. That's kind of like what I'm touching on here, is you need to bear in mind that brand new street wheels, before they're worn in and they get that kind of like rubbery, matte look and rubbery texture, they're going to be very slippery. So if you are on a brand new board with brand new street wheels, bear in mind until you kind of break them in, you put some miles on them, the wheels are going to be a lot more slippery and offer a lot less grip than you would expect if you've been riding a demo board or borrowing a friend's board. So that's always something to definitely keep in mind. Now next up is going to be one that a lot of you that have followed the channel for a while are probably going to laugh at, and that's going to be protective. Now I just recently came off a board. You can see I've got some road rash on my hand there, and I've got a lovely hole in my thumb there. Getting the right protective is going to be the next point that I have to stress on, and that's not only going to be in regards to a helmet. It's going to be finding good quality pads that you can use for your elbows, your knees, any of the kind of high likely areas to injure yourself on, especially the elbows if you are to come off the board, or rather when you come off the board. Also, let's not sugarcoat it. One of the reasons I've avoided protective for so long is just because I feel like it looks terrible. There's no nice way of saying it. I don't want to look like a weirdo while I'm riding down the streets, although the appearance of what I've got on while I'm riding a board shouldn't be important. Unfortunately, it is, and I just don't want to look like a weird nerd while I'm riding down the street, so having discreet protective is essential for me. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, it's not just about your ability, it's about what's going on around you. So having the right protective is always going to be a key one. I'm going to mention that, of course, I know that in past videos I was definitely guilty of not wearing any protective or helmets, but as time's gone on, I've actually found a helmet and also elbow pads and knee pads that I like. I'll feature them in a separate video because I want to talk about coming off the board, the damage that I did, and how lucky I was that I had the protective that I had. Otherwise, I honestly do think I'd be in hospital right now. So I'll touch on that in a separate video, but protective is a must regardless of your experience. And of course, everyone out there, the helmet police, I'm now on board. Helmet for the head, definitely essential. So make sure you have those before you jump on and ride. Now that leaves us really nicely onto the next point, which is anticipation of the surrounding area that you're riding in. Now what I mean by this is if you are riding through a park or on a road and you're going past a dog on a lead or off a lead, or a child or somebody about to cross into the streets, always anticipate something going wrong. Now that sounds so random, but what I mean by doing that is you save yourself a lot of grief. So if you're riding past somebody that's going to step out onto the street, something that I always see is pedestrians will walk out onto the street, they'll look left and see me coming, and they're like, oh, he's on a skateboard, and then step out while looking at you, and then you see them kind of get confused about how fast you're actually moving, because traditionally you see someone on a skateboard, you expect they're going quite slowly, but that's not the case if you're on a lot of these big beastie electric boards. So being able to anticipate what's going on around you and always expect the worst will save you. You're going past cars, just assume one of those car doors is going to swing open, so adjust your distance from that car door. You see a kid or a dog, assume they're going to run out in front of you and prepare yourself, kind of like think about what you're going to do before it actually happens, and that really does set you up for being able to ride a lot more comfortably. It's a tip that I guess the more you ride, the better you are at developing. But when you first get on a board and you're kind of like figuring out the ropes, this is definitely something that you need to keep in mind. Don't assume because someone sees you on an electric skateboard, they're going to wait or move. Just assume the worst, and it'll save you falling a lot more than a lot of people that don't do that. So that's definitely going to be a key tip to keep in mind for any people that are kind of getting used to riding boards and finding their feet in the world of riding electric skateboards, especially on the streets outside. Now from there, a really big one is going to be learning how to foot brake. Now this is something that of course you might not think you need to know how to do because electric skateboards have brakes, but anything could happen. The board could cut out, the remote could cut out, the brakes could fail, anything could happen. So knowing how to stop a board without using the electronics that are already on the board is going to be a big advantage to have. It's just going to help your confidence, and it's just a good skill to be able to develop. And a lot of people that tend to jump on electric skateboards are jumping on a board for the first time, especially in 2022, now more than ever. Not everyone has a previous experience of learning how to skateboard. It's kind of like, oh, that looked cool, let me get one of those. So learning the foot brake is definitely going to be a skill that is essential. Now from there, another good one to keep in mind is going to be general board maintenance. This is something that's taken me a few years to learn. I tend to be much better at computers and that type of stuff rather than actual physical things like using your hands. So learning general board maintenance, how to tension gears, like how to switch out bushings, how to clean the board, how to replace the inner tubes, how to replace a motor if a motor goes wrong. All of these things are going to be essential to learn. It doesn't require rocket science, but it's something that you have to kind of get used to doing. A good way of doing it is slowly taking your board apart, remembering where you've put all the pieces, or even recording yourself doing it so you can see where the pieces go, and then reassembling it. Being familiar with all of the components on the board is going to be helpful long term. So if anything goes wrong or you need to replace something on the fly, you know exactly what you're doing and you can save time and do it much quicker and much more effectively and efficiently. And from there, that kind of leads really nicely onto learning about wheel sizes, the different wheel options that are out there, and gears. Of course, changing the wheel diameter, the wheel material, changing the gears, all of this will have an effect on the board's top speed, its range, its acceleration, its braking. You can change gears and wheel setups, and you can mix and match to be able to, for example, give the board more acceleration and tighter braking, or you can do it from the perspective of more range but less acceleration, or less kind of like performance off the line but better range long term. There's a lot of things you can do to tweak the performance of the board based on the different gear setups that you do, and from the GTR 2 perspective, that's definitely going to be something I'm going to want to do because it's not as fast as the Hadian boards, but of course I can mess with the gears, which is what I did similar with the original GTR Bamboo, but the issue with that, it had smaller motors and it would overheat. This board has bigger motors, so I can switch the gears out to give myself a little bit more top end. It's going to be fun to be able to experiment with those different types of things. I'll link a video that kind of breaks down everything you need to know about gears with boards down below and also up above, so you can familiarize yourself with them if you're not too familiar with how they work and what the different options are. So that will be linked down below for you guys to check out. But gears and all the different wheel options that are out there are definitely worth learning, so you can kind of spec the board out to perform exactly how you want it to perform. Now, this is a point that was actually brought to my attention by Billy over in London. This is one that I wouldn't have really considered. Aside from the footwear that you use, I've had a lot of comments in all of the videos that I've shot about using Timberlands and not skating in Vans. I am never going to buy a pair of Vans, so you guys can stop banging on about that in the comments. I will always use Timberlands. But a good point that Billy mentioned was switching out the insoles inside your shoes to just give you a better experience. You're obviously on a skateboard, there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of bumps, and if you switch out the insoles in your shoes, you can have a better experience if you're riding long term. But the basic rule that you want to keep in mind with the footwear is the flatter the base of the shoes or trainers or sneakers that you're wearing, the more contact you have with the grip tape, the more control you'll have over the board. Of course, the material that your shoes are constructed from as well makes a big difference, but it's just about having a lot of grip over the surface that you're skating on so you can control the board as well as you can. That's going to allow you to carve much deeper, to slide the board out, to turn more aggressively. So footwear is definitely one to consider. Now from there, one I wanted to mention is going to be the manuals inside these boxes that come with these boards. You find that a lot of people kind of take the board out, the remote, the charger, and all of the little cool accessories and throw away the manual. And after having worked with a lot of these brands like Evolve, X-Way, what you hear from them, the feedback they give you is a lot of the calls and emails they receive are questions that could be answered by just looking at the manual. So I'm going to recommend, it sounds boring, but read the manual. While your board is charging and you're eager to get out on it, read the manual. you'll see a lot of points and tips that you might have questions about later on, and the manual will answer them without you having to bug anyone. But more importantly, if you can't find any answers in the manual, I would recommend looking on threads or forums online, because there's so much information out there. And of course, YouTube videos, but not just the videos, the comment sections. Those three things, the manual, like things like Reddit, and also looking at YouTube videos in the comments, will save you a lot of waiting to have questions answered. So make sure that you do that. Now, of course, moving on to the last point, that's going to be start slowly and build confidence. Learning how to ride aggressively, how to carve, how to slide, how to go top speed on a board. These are all things that you can do the second you get on them, but you're not going to be doing them properly, and you're probably going to come off and hurt yourself. So just start slowly, build confidence, and remember to anticipate your surroundings. Doing this will allow you to kind of grow your skills, grow your confidence, and become a better rider. And of course, this kind of ties into the way that you ride as well. Don't be afraid to try different things. Sitting deeper into your stance on the board so you can carve and turn more aggressively. But more importantly, it's just about experimenting with different riding styles, different tricks and things that you can do, like sliding, 180s, drifting. All of these things you can start slowly with, build your confidence and enable yourself to become a better rider. But I think the most important thing is just try different things. Don't be your traditional, I guess you could say, new rider that kind of just rides in a straight line with their legs completely upright and straight. Bend, get into a good stance, swing the board around, and just kind of like get a feel for what it can do, how much grip you have with your tires, how far you can push them out before they slide. Just start slowly. And of course, if you're wondering about sliding tutorials or drifting tutorials, I'll link a couple of videos down below that are worth watching to kind of give you an idea of what you can do on these boards by starting slowly and building confidence. But as always, hopefully this video has had some useful information for you. If you're new to riding, you've just picked up a board, or you're thinking of getting one, a big thank you for watching this. And of course, if you want to pick up this board, which is the GTR2, the bamboo version, not the carbon, because I like that flexi deck from Evolve, there'll be a link down below in the video description to save you some money for picking one of these up. But as always, guys, big thank you for watching. Make sure you thumbs up and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the videos. Instagram handle will be down below. Make sure you follow on that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.